Hi, I'm Jacqueline Rinksmeyer with the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
And I'm Jared Fry, General Manager of Medina TV and Public Information Officer for the City of Medina.
We are pleased to partner with Medina TV with Jared Fry and Matt Homick to bring you this Candidates Forum. Candidates in contested races were invited to participate.
The views expressed by the candidates during these candidate forums are not those necessarily of Medina TV or the Greater Medina Chamber of Commerce.
The goal of the Candidates Forum is to educate and inform, but you need to take the next step. Vote early at the Board of Elections or in person on November 4th. Thank you for taking the time to be an educated voter. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the 2025 Candidates Forum.
Joining us now in studio is Bruce Christopher, the incumbent for Medina Township Trustee. Bruce, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here. It's important for the township and the area to know what's going on, and this is one way to convey it. So thank you very much.
Oh yeah, glad to have you here. First, for people that may not know you, just take a few minutes and tell us a little bit about yourself.
My background, I'm from Northern Ohio. After I graduated from Baldwin Wallace with my master's, I left for 35 years on my business career. And when I left the last company, I really didn't know exactly where I was going to go. I felt I was still going to work, but I said, I'll move back to Ohio and figure it out. And I got back here, and it's been a good place. I've got, from a family standpoint, I have 2 daughters. And unfortunately, they both live out of state, so I don't get to see the grandkids too much because I do have five grandchildren. But the one daughter lives up in Massachusetts, and the other daughter just moved back to New Jersey. So it takes a little bit of time to get there. But as I mentioned, I graduated from BW, left on my career, came back here, and here I didn't think I was really going to stay here. And here I am 9.5 years later, so I guess I'm staying here now. But it's been a good experience.
And of course, we mentioned you're the incumbents. You've already served one term. What made you decide to throw your hat in the ring and go for another term?
Well, we've accomplished a lot in the first term. We had a lot of things to overcome in the first term, and I'll even segue back to the reason I ran the first time. One of the trustees 2 of the trustees back then wanted to move the fire department from Medina to Brunswick Hills. And it would have cost us somewhere between, depending on what we did, what they would have done, it would have cost us between $400,000 and $500,000 a year more, and we would have had poorer protection. And it was at that time I said, I'm going to run for office. And so I got in the office, and then you find out there's a lot of other challenges. It's not just a single issue challenge. And got in, and the fire department did not move, and so that gave us, better protection, and at a much reduced cost, because at this point we would have spent a couple $1 million. And I felt that there were a lot of other issues that we could improve on. We also had, unbeknownst to me when I ran for office, we had issues with a fiscal officer. And many people may have seen it in the paper, but she owes us over $5,100, and this is by the state auditor. So this is something that's not why I really ran this time, but it's things that we had to clean up and do. So it's been a lot more work, and I felt that we could make the township more professional. Right after I got elected, I was told different people from different townships said to me, they said, what township you from? And I told them, and they laughed. They said, what a joke. Well, then people told me that we were a joke for 30 years. And I took offense to that, because we shouldn't be. We should be a quiet little township. And so we've really worked on improving that, and we're much more professional today. Mm-hmm. Wasn't the reason I ran. I didn't think we were going to have to make it that way, but we have made it that way. So.
What would you say, of course, there's the traditional definition or role of a trustee, but what do you feel the role of a trustee is?
Well, a trustee, for some people don't know, in a township you have 3 trustees and a fiscal officer. And the division is very clear between those 2 groups. The trustees are the legislative branch. We're going to, I don't want to say make laws, because we can't make laws. Mm-hmm. We can pass resolutions or motions to change different things in the township. So that's our goal, that's our duty, not our goal, that's our duty, to pass the different resolutions that are going to make us a better township for the majority of the people, and not just a single interest group or something like that. So that's what a trustee is supposed to be doing.
Mm-hmm. And as far as trustees go, you just brought that up, it's kind of a smaller entity. There's 3 of you. How do you work with the trustees so that obviously you're not always going to get along, you're not always going to agree on things? How do you work with the other trustees to get things done?
It's funny. It's a good question. Great question. There's all different personalities. We come at things from different directions. And so it takes a little while to even learn these things. We're not opponents, but yet, and just so people know, we cannot talk and come to a decision outside of a meeting, outside of an open meeting. We could have breakfast, lunch, and dinner together if we were talking about Boy Scouts or camping or something like that, but we cannot be meeting to come to a decision. So we're very careful not to give the appearance of meeting. So we work really, really hard on that, and I think, do a good job. Along those lines, I think it's important that after I got elected the first time, I was told by an attorney that you shouldn't be agreeing 100% of the time, because if you do, you could be in violation of the Sunshine Law. And we don't always agree all the time, so we don't really have to worry about that. But once we say something, once something's approved, we don't go back and say, well, I wanted to do this or that. We just move forward with what's being done. And that has helped with the professionalism of the township a great deal. There's no backstabbing, no anything like that. We just want the township to move ahead.
Now, in your first answer, you kind of mentioned the fire department. So I want to circle back to that a little bit. That's a partnership with the city of Medina, and just kind of get your thoughts on how that's working and if there's any changes you would like to see made.
I think the partnership with the city has been great. And of course, we've got a mayor's election coming up, and so you don't know what the next mayor is going to do. But up until now, I think the partnership has been very, very good. When I came into office, I ran on safety, fiscal responsibility, and professionalism. And when I came into office for the fire department, we were I believe it was 8 o'clock in the morning to midnight, 5 days a week. Now we're 24/7, 365. Mm-hmm. So the protection is much better. We get along quite well with them. We've got our own ideas because, of course, we still have to protect the township, mm-hmm. but I think that it's a great relationship.
And in terms of collaborations, not only with the city, but what are your thoughts on collaborations with either other townships, the county, or even additional ones with the city?
Each trustee takes on different responsibilities and work with different departments, and I think we have a great relationship with the county, with the other townships. Montville and us, we just do a great job, particularly with the police aspect of it, because we're butting right up there, and they are always backing us. We will always back them, and it's actually very rewarding to see how good a relationship we have. So I'm happy and proud to be part of that.
Mm-hmm. And you kind of talk about the townships touching each other, and a lot of that is in your economic district in that area on that side of town. And then you also have the other side of town in the township where you have economic development. What are your thoughts on economic development, and what would you like to see it moving forward?
Most people don't know this, but Medina Township has more businesses than any other township around. We have more businesses. The only places that have more businesses are actually the cities, Wadsworth, Medina, and Brunswick. Mm-hmm. We have approximately 500 businesses, and we've got limited land left for construction of new businesses. And there is some. We work very hard. We want the businesses to be successful. I mean, if we had a perfect world, they'd all stay there for the next 50 years, and you wouldn't have to do anything. But things are always changing. Signs are changing. Businesses are moving in and out, and so we have to do a lot. But we work very, very hard to be good partners with the businesses. But we've got rules, and we say here's what the guidelines are, and we adhere to the guidelines.
And now on the flip side of things, you have your residents and the residential properties. What do you feel as far as those with the township? And then another big question that comes up a lot of times is now, how do you find affordable housing for people, since that seems to be an issue these days?
Well, the residents that I talk to, I would say 95% of them want the township to stay as it is. They don't want it to change to high-density housing, okay? They do not want that. That's the reason they moved here. And some have been here for 40, 50 years. Some have moved recently. But they don't want what others want to offer. And it's a challenge as far as the pricing of the houses. We can't do anything about that. We've got builders that are building some more properties on the old Bohattie property. They're going to be building there, and but it's not going to be inexpensive housing either. So it's just a case. The township will never control the price of houses. You know, that would be illegal. But it's a challenge for people if they want to be here. It's changed a lot. Yeah. So.
Again, speaking with Bruce Christopher, the incumbent for Medina Township Trustee. Bruce, what do you think the biggest challenge, if elected for another term, what is the biggest challenge that you would face stepping in for that second term?
The biggest challenge, I don't know if really challenge is quite the right word, but many people don't know it. From, I'll say, 2017 until maybe 2020, we would get about 40 public record requests in a year. Now because the previous fiscal officer, and one of the previous fiscal officers, let me change that, and a few of her friends, we get 500, 600, 800 public record requests a year. So it costs the township tens of thousands of dollars a year. And if we can't answer it from a legal standpoint, the prosecutor's office is our legal counsel, then we send it to the prosecutor's office. So when we send it down there, now you've got an attorney working on it. So it's costing the county tens of thousands of dollars. We have to fulfill those. By law, we have to fulfill those. So it's a challenge in a sense, but we're doing a good job. Other challenges, I think, are just move ahead, keep this place, the professionalism that we have on the board right now, keep it moving forward. And a lot of other things that you'll never even see these things. We'll be working on policy manuals to update those type of things. We want to get back to having a Medina Township Days. We had one a couple of years ago, but we're so busy putting out fires with these public record requests and some other issues, talking to people down in Columbus, trying to get things straightened out. It took away from this. We'd like to go back and have Medina Township Days or weekend and have the township come together and find out more about us. So is that a challenge? A little bit, but it'll be fun too.
Now, is there a project or an initiative that you would like to push forward in another term?
Well, that would be one of them. The professionalism that I mentioned here a couple of times is important to me because we should look professional. And when people down in Columbus, when people down at the Ohio Township Association knew of us because of problems that we had, now they'd hardly ever hear from us, and that's a good thing. So I just want to keep the township moving ahead in a positive direction. We're going to adhere to the comprehensive plan that was laid out years ago, and just have the township look and act in a much more professional manner.
Again, this is Bruce Christopher, the incumbent for Medina Township Trustee. If elected to this next term, how would you, at the end of that term, how would you judge that term as a success? How would you look back and say, that was a successful term?
Wow. That's an interesting question. I think if we can accomplish some of the things I just laid out, then I would consider that a success. If we can just move ahead and do things that are strictly for the benefit of the township instead of putting out fires, I would consider that a success. And as I said, and I'm running the same thing this time, when I ran last time, I said safety, fiscal responsibility, and professionalism. If we can accomplish those things, and the safety we're accomplishing, the fiscal responsibility, we're constantly on that, and we're doing a good job. And the professionalism is something that we've really gotten a good hold of in the last about 9 months or a year. So.
Again, speaking of Bruce Christopher, the incumbent for Medina Township Trustee, and Bruce, you've done a great job of answering all the questions I've had for you here today, but I want to give you the opportunity, if I missed anything or just anything you want to tell the voters, I'm going to turn the floor over to you and you can talk directly to them.
Well, I just want to thank for this opportunity. I'm very thankful for this opportunity. It's important for the voters to see the candidates, talk to the candidates, and hear what they have to say. And everything I've said, it can be researched and can be checked out to see the validity of everything that I've said. And I want to represent the township and continue it moving forward in a positive direction. So I'm going to ask for your vote. I'm going to ask for your help. If anybody wants to volunteer in any way, that would be greatly appreciated. But thank you again, and I hope I can get your vote. Thank you.
Again, Bruce Christopher, the incumbent from Medina Township Trustee. Bruce, thank you for taking part of the political process, and I wish you the best of luck this November.
Thank you.